Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the 2024 Advent calendars, the Lego Marvel Spider-Man one for 2024, and the Lego Star Wars Advent calendar for 2024. I've done videos for each day through these individually and have sort of talked a little bit about my feelings, but I wanted to take a minute to look at these, compare them to each other, and then also give my final thoughts on the sets themselves. So they are separated here just a little bit. I know where the separation is, at least between the two of them. I wanted to talk about the value and the experience of this year's Advent calendars. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about is the pricing, actually. I paid $30 each for these. They retailed for $45. I can't remember what last year's Marvel one was. I think it was around there, or maybe less. Maybe it was only 40 or something. I think the Friends, the City, the Disney one, maybe even the Wizarding World one are either the same or less. It's I can't remember off the top of my head, but these can be pretty reliably found on sale. Both of them right now, as the time of recording this, near the end of the December of 2024, these were on sale on the Lego Shop at Home website for 30% off, which does bring it down to like $31.50. So I paid about that as well, but I got them in a store and price matched it and everything else. And the piece counts for these, the Marvel Spider-Man one here is 246, and the Star Wars one is 368. So a lot more pieces in the Star Wars one, frankly. I mean, it's essentially like 50% more, because you would take like the 240 plus another 120, and that's how you get here. So for them to be the same price, it's a little bit iffy in my opinion. The experience of going through the Marvel Spider-Man one was okay, I want to say. Not my favorite ever. I'm not sure if I really liked just focusing on Spider-Man. I think there is a ton of Spider-Man stuff that really, really works. There's great villains. There's a lot of different Spider people, which is awesome. Super popular character. I think the last year was just kind of like Avengers themed. I don't know if previous to that they had done like one that was specifically Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't know what the future for Marvel Advent calendars looks like, but this ended up not working super well for me, partially because in comparison to Star Wars, like some of this is necessarily like not that Marvel-y, and that's just a byproduct of like Spider-Man being from New York and a lot of the stories taking place on Earth, whereas Star Wars like isn't bound by that. So in this build, we have like stuff that's in the Marvel one, we have stuff that's just kind of accessories. This is like a Spider-Man colored candy cane lawn ornament. We have the like house stuff, this like fireplace or hearth, this little table, this computer desk. None of those have anything that's like specifically Marvel or Spider-Man about them. The hot dog stand, the traffic light with the fire extinguisher, the newspaper box or post box with the bin there, all feel kind of, and this signpost with the camera and the street light there, all seem a little bit detached in my opinion, even though like as I was going through them, I was kind of figuring out like, okay, maybe this is this, maybe okay, it's New York City in winter, and so there's snow on the ground, and this and this and this, and that's fine, but it ends up not making the experience super exciting. Where in comparison to like the Star Wars one, I could open up any one of these days at any time and kind of like enjoy it, get the reference, and really like it. Whereas like the Marvel Spider-Man one for this year, if I picked a random day and what I got was, the catapult or just the webs or this table with the pizza, I would be a little bit disappointed. I mean, with the webs, I would probably know what I'm looking at. If it was like these, I don't know if I would know. This doesn't feel too different to me than something that could be in a city set. So there's just some differences here in like how on theme each of these are. I will also say that in this case, this year for 2024 is just a really, really good year for LEGO Star Wars for the Advent calendar, because the process was so like unique. Because it was celebrating 25 years of LEGO Star Wars, they like made a real conscious effort, and actually I think super succeeded at walking through the history of LEGO Star Wars and having references to modern sets and tons of stuff like that. So it was a joy to like go through them and reminisce about like the first sets that came out way back in, I guess, 1999, early 2000s. And it was also really fun to kind of discover what some of these things were specifically referencing, especially like, I didn't know what this was off the top of my head, but I had a guess, didn't know what this was off the top of my head, but I had a guess. But then also like thinking about, some of these things that there have been many different iterations of over the years. I thought that was like super successful and made this a really unique opening experience. Now that I don't know if that's kind of mostly for me or for fans or AFOLs or for older folks who were around 25 years ago when LEGO Star Wars was starting. For a younger builder or just a builder who wasn't around at that time or wasn't building LEGO at that time, maybe this doesn't have like that same nostalgia. Maybe it doesn't invoke like the same sort of curiosity that I had to try to like go through and figure out, when was the first time we got super battle droids? When was the, all this other stuff here? And so for me, this was a really, really great experience. Whereas this one, it didn't have that same like oomph, because it just didn't have the same kind of like thematic through line or chronological like kind of history sort of thing. It was just very kind of, I guess, like haphazard in some ways. It didn't feel as organized to me, which, last year the LEGO Star Wars one wasn't in order like this, and next year they probably won't be, or almost certainly won't be either. But in this instance, for me, the Star Wars one here, between the two of them, is way, way better. And besides that, if I'm thinking about value, the Star Wars one has more building going into it. It's got 120 more pieces. And yes, in the Advent calendars, a lot of those are tiny pieces. A lot of them are small. These are all like super micro builds. And so that's to be expected. But there is a pretty dramatic difference with like the amount of building going in here versus the Marvel Spider-Man one. The other thing is, there's like a difference in minifigures, kind of. It's so. I'm not sure 100%, because in this one we get Spider-Man super basic, Venom super basic, Ghost Spider super basic. We do get the holiday Miles Morales, and we get the Green Goblin, as well as the Snow, Spider Ham Peter Porker head there with like a buildable body. You also get the Rhino build, but like in terms of pure minifigures, you get 5 in here, which is okay. I think they could do better. 24 days, breaking it up into like maybe 6 figures is a little bit better. And actually, when comparing these, if I'm not going to count this as a figure, or the Rhino thing as the figure, then I'm not going to count the Super Battle Droid as a figure, but you get the Holiday Leia, you get the Holiday Luke, you get the Emperor Guard, you get Ahsoka, and you get a 501st Trooper there. So it is 5 figures and 5 figures. I think some of these, you get the 2 unique ones versus just like the one in this one that have like these stylized sweaters going on there. I think, Ahsoka and these Emperor guards, or these Imperial guards or whatever, the red ones here, are a little less common. The Spider-Man, Venom, and like Ghost Spider are in a bunch of sets, so they're not that exciting to me. I think maybe as it continues to go, we can get more exciting different spider people and stuff like that. And then also there was like nothing super different about them. So while they have the same number of minifigs, I guess I was more a fan of the Star Wars ones than I was the Marvel one. And then I don't know, like I said, I don't know if the prices went up at a certain point, but for my money, I paid the same for these. They retailed for the same. I got them both on sale. The overall experience, and then also what I have like left here, this is the Star Wars one is a way better deal to me. I would have more fun playing with this stuff. I also think this kind of displays kind of nice, and there's a way to display this that also like invokes the kind of history that I think is really, really cool. I think the Spider-Man stuff is maybe more play oriented, and it doesn't like have a lot of extra value to me. It seems like the experience, I like these well enough. I don't know if I'm going to do them every year. And if I do, I might not make videos for them just because they're not like my super favorite thing. And there's other like $30 sets or $45 sets that I might rather look at. And I'm having trouble putting this into words exactly, but I just wasn't a big fan of the Spider-Man one, and I was a big fan of the Star Wars one. Thinking about like value, I think I've already made that kind of clear, my thoughts on it. If I wanted to like go through and kind of rank the ones from each set that like I really liked or liked more than I maybe thought I would, I guess I'll take a minute to do that. Like, I thought that the like Miles Morales race car and the Spider-Man race car were like bad or not good initially, or like a waste of a day or something. And those ended up being some of my favorites because they were referencing like bigger Lego sets that had already come out. I ended up liking the kind of deal we did for Green Goblin with the kind of holiday glider, as well as the glider like trailer there. So I did like that. I ended up liking the last build, which was like Electro's holiday tree, just because I didn't expect that, and I thought that was kind of clever. And the rest of these, nothing special. The Miles figure is good, but not perfect. I also really liked the Rhino bot. So those were kind of my like standout. The vehicles here, the glider trailer, the Rhino bot, and this. I'm glad to get the snow like spider ham here. You really just get the head, so the rest is just kind of basic pieces, but that is a cool minifigure head to get. I didn't know that was coming because that was pictured on the box, as well as like most of these other ones. I think this one might not have been on the back of the box, but I'm not. Oh, maybe it was actually, because it was by Spider-Gwen at the time. So you kind of knew what you were getting with this one. The real like big surprises were maybe the vehicles, the Rhino bot, and this. So the ones that I liked the best were probably the ones that I was like, I didn't know were going to be in there. Whereas for the Star Wars one for this year, I'm going to have like a lot harder of a time to like figure out which ones are my favorite. I think Luke's land speeder is really good. I think the Ghost is really good. I think, the Millennium Falcon, the Venator are really good. I mean, I don't know if any of these are necessarily bad here. And the figures, yeah, I have a good amount of 501st figures. They're somewhat, they're accessible. You can get them. Maybe not as some of these other Marvel characters, but they're in battle packs and they're in other sets. But I also thought like the figures were a little more niche by comparison as well. My favorite builds, I mean, I thought this was a great reference, another kind of surprise thing. I don't believe that was pictured anywhere on the front or back of the box, so that is pretty cool. I think the rest of the figures were all featured. I don't think the Ghost was pictured anywhere on the box, so that was cool. The Crimson Firehawk wasn't on the box art as far as I can tell, so that's pretty cool as well. And I overall liked those things, and I don't know if they have like ones here that are like super weak in my opinion. Like some are more basic than others. Darth Vader's castle is like a simpler build than some of these other ones. Even the sail barge is kind of a simpler build, but that one was so fun because it was referencing like the first time we saw it and also the UCS set. Same with the Venator. So even in the more simple builds in the Star Wars one, were more exciting to me. So I don't even know if I can pick a favorite. I'll say for this, maybe the Venator class is my favorite of the little builds there, but they were all quite good and look the part. So this was a wonderful experience. The Spider-Man one, less so to me personally. And I think that's kind of my thoughts on these. I said I was going to do this last year and I didn't. Like when I'm looking at these, what I have in front of me, I don't feel great about the value for the Spider-Man one. If you are like, okay, figures are like $5 per figure, these I would say are probably less than that, but they are relatively common. But if we just went by that as kind of the standard rule, well, yeah, sure, then you have like $25 in figures right here. So paying $30 for it and then like essentially $5 for the rest of the stuff, okay, that makes sense. For $45, you still might say, okay, I have $25 in figures, and then do I have $20 in other stuff here? And it's like, maybe. I don't know if I really feel that way. I don't think I would have bought the Star Wars one at full like MSRP unless I really couldn't get it on sale, but I would find that unlikely, especially if a person like waits, but often they can be found on sale before the first of the month. So I don't like these advent calendar sets, just frankly aren't the best value. Again, if we're going to talk about like figures, we have maybe $25 worth of figures here. I could see, maybe some of these being slightly more than $5, other ones being slightly less, and then you just get more building stuff. So certainly the value proposition for the Star Wars one for this year is a lot better in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know if I would do these advent calendars if I couldn't reliably find them for 30+% off. So maybe I'm not the target market. I did enjoy going through both of them. One of them I enjoyed much more than the other, and I think that's it, and that's going to kind of wrap up the year and wrap up the month, and then I'll be coming back, right away with a ton of the new sets, as well as like old retired sets that are, going to be officially 10 years old now, some sets from 2015 and 2016, that era, and then like all the new sets and some from 2024 and 2023 that I never got around to, so tons of other LEGO videos coming up in the future, but this is a nice kind of conclusion to the year. Thanks anybody who's subscribed and watched a lot of the videos. I appreciate it. Even if you just watch this one, I appreciate it. So thank you very much. It's nice to have been doing this another year. I think technically it might make it like a year and a half or so since the channel started, but I'm not 100% positive, and so I'll have to go look at that. But this was a nice year for the channel. I got to, experiment a little bit more, do some things that I wasn't, super intending to, and I just had a lot of fun doing it. So at least, from my end of things, it was a very good year on YouTube with the Sobrix channel. So very good, and I think that's it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more Marvel sets, Spider-Man sets, more Star Wars sets, and then, like I said, tons of other LEGO sets and videos coming up in the future. So subscribe if you're not. And then if you wanted to support this channel and support my videos here, you can do that here on YouTube with membership supers and thanks. You can give money to the channel on Patreon or buy me a coffee. There's also like affiliate links in the description. So all that stuff helps financially support the channel. It's not needed, it's not necessary, but it is a great help, and I do really appreciate it. So thank you very much. And with all of that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.